And let's go straight to the dailies this morning. The headlines: Uhuru Team blocks new Jubilee projects. There has been the cabinet meeting that's been taking place, or retreat, if I can call it that, at in Naivasha, where the president was chairing. And of course, this looks like almost a closed-door meeting where they'd like to assess how they have done as a government and possibly their strategy between now and the election date.
Well, you know, for me, I think that this decision was long overdue because President Kenyatta and the Jubilee administration ventured into so many projects at the same time, and I think the resources were spread too thin, so they've been unable to achieve anything. Because right now, if you want to establish what are the projects started by Jubilee that have been completed, you are unlikely to find any. Most of the projects which have been completed were started by President Kibaki, and it would be so crucial and critical for the president to ensure that at least before we go to an election, he can actually say that when I took office, I started 4 projects and they are a success. That way, then he'll be able to talk about the benefits of his leadership and infrastructure. But again, more important than maybe bringing the projects into a stop is for him to do an internal audit and establish why a number of his projects have not been a success. And you know, partially that's attributed to so many cases in the High Court stopping projects, especially the issues around tenders. But for some reason, one forms the impression that he's been unable to crush the corruption cartels and the special interest groups which support these projects. When you speak with insiders, they tell you that there's a group of civil servants, and if there's an oncoming project, if their interests are not secured in that contract, then you know they stop it and ensure that it's not a success. So doing an internal audit would be very useful for him to assist him in decision making.
I don't know what you take would it be a little bit late to be realizing this now, because given I think it's only about what 15 months before the elections, that some of the projects that they have in their hands are huge, and finishing them between now and then would probably be not a very easy task.
Well, you know, a number of projects are they're at various levels of completion, like the LAPSAT, SGR, all of them are almost 50% done. So there's a time to complete at least 5 events that he can use during his manifesto. You remember the Jubilee manifesto was so fast with so many promises on infrastructure. They spoke about putting up a stadia in every region.
The 5 stadia that they want to put up, yes.
Those have not been done. But if he's able to make sure that resources are sent to particular projects, then you can have something to tell Kenyans during the campaign that I promised. Maybe I was supposed to do 20 projects, I've done 5 to completion, 15 are almost done. Then you know people will be very happy with him. But if during election time then he says everything is work in progress, then people will begin to wonder.
Yeah. Okay.